Hello, Derby world, and welcome back to day 2 of the EuroCup 2023. We've got an exciting Game 7 here. I am Anklebiter, joined by...
I'm Billy No Skates, and I mean, is it going to be any more exciting than the last game?
Oh my gosh, I don't think I'm going to recover from the last game.
Yeah. I mean, fantastic. I can't wait for the final. Right now, I'm really looking forward to seeing Helsinki Roller Derby playing Dock City.
Yes.
We've just been having a little chat about potential MVPs for the tournament, so we'll be keeping an eye on this game as well to see what we've got, because we've got some fantastic prizes for the MVPs from Create and Skate Factory, which is skater owned and operated. So we're just going to run in and give you the lineup for today's game.
Yes, so skating for Helsinki, who will be wearing green today, it is 080 Quirica, 10 Sylvester, 112 Fuchs, 13 Gemina Lugaro, 20 Predator, 22 Malou, 242 Kamina, 286 Ninja, 312 Speedy, 4 Pale, 441 Jard, 51 Margot Vandergenst, 57 Yoki, 77 Ruto Salinen, and 88 Varpu Knuttala.
And skating in white for Dock City, we've got number 1618 Fred Finta, number 18 Boden, number 20 Bilen, number 2077 Kafka, number 209 Mithra, number 247 Bialin, number 31 Malice Babs, number 404 Payne Gretzky, number 41 Stopless, number 414 Ertan, number 421 Paddy from the Block, number 48 is Moran, number 5 is High Five, number 56 is Snagge, and number 940 is Sister Liste. So we have these teams playing one of the consolation games today. They played some cracking games yesterday with some fantastic roller derby here. And we're just about to get on the track. So we've got lining up in green for Helsinki, we've got Varpu Knuttala, and that's number 18 Boden for Dock City.
Yes, and both teams playing amazingly yesterday, so I'm sure this one will be just as exciting as all the rest of the games have been this weekend.
Fantastic, and we're about to get underway. Do you have a call for this one? Who's going to win it?
Ooh, I think this one's going to be close. Looking at the stats from West Track Story, I believe there were only 4 or 5 points in this game between the two.
So Helsinki getting that wall up in front. A little bit of a knock to the outside for Knuttala, but she managed to stay in bounds and upright. So Varpu Knuttala is your lead jammer for this jam.
So Dock City's jammer managing to get out on that initial pass, but Varpu Knuttala managing to get the points and call off the jam, holding Dock City scoreless in that first jam of the game.
So 3 points up on the board for Helsinki. Dock City have yet to score in this game.
So how about you? What are your calls for this game?
I think like you say, I think it's going to be close. I think Helsinki are going to edge it, but I think it's going to be quite a tight and exciting game. And we've got Malou up on the jam line for Helsinki, up against number 1618. That is Fred Finta for Dock City.
Malou managing to push that Dock City wall up, but Fred Finta also not far behind. Both teams' blockers really putting on the brakes here and slowing down those jammers. But Malou making quick work with a little spin move on the inside and picking up lead jammer status for Helsinki.
So a little bit of a track advantage for Helsinki at the moment with one blocker in the box. We've got Malou coming around for a first scoring pass. Finta has the star in hand, unsure whether that's going to be a star pass or a star stash.
Malou trying to find some space, just not able to capitalize on the offense given there, but doing a great job of pressing this Dock City wall forward to try and find a way out for some more points here.
Payne Gretzky coming forward there to... nope, hang on, I have that completely wrong, never mind me. Okay, Malou clears the pack on a first scoring pass. So 4 on the board going up there for Helsinki, and we've had a star pass to Malice Babs, I believe.
Yes. Malice Babs really trying to fight through this Helsinki tripod. Getting a little bit of offense there, but Helsinki doing a great job at reforming and just putting a stop to the Dock City pivot.
And we have a power jam happening at the moment. Malou taking a seat in the penalty box for a forearm. Malis Babs has taken the star and is coming around for a first scoring pass. It's going to be a 2-minute jam, this, isn't it? Because Malou had lead before going to the penalty box.
Yes.
So not many seconds left on the jam clock, to be fair, for Malis Babs to score. But Malou standing in the penalty box. I'm not sure whether Malou is going to get released before the whistle goes for the end of the jam. And no, so it's going to be a power start for Dock City.
Malis Babs taking a little hit there on the inside, but still managing to pick up 3 points for Dock City to put them on the board for the first time in this game.
So who is going up for the sole jammer on track? It's Moran for Dock City, going up unopposed. So no blockers currently in the box. There's two teams with a full complement. Wait to see Dock City pull out some offense here to get their jammer out, but Malou is released from the penalty box and approaching the pack at the same time, but Moran is through first, picks up lead jammer status for the first time for Dock City this morning.
And some beautiful footwork there from Moran to just sneak by on that inside line, finding that gap and getting through, looking for points here, pushing against that Helsinki tripod. There was a star pass by Malou. So Speedy is now the jammer.
And Moran calling that jam before Speedy had a chance to put any more points up on the board for Helsinki. So 2 points for Dock City in that last jam. 5 points separating the two teams at this point in the game. And up next on the S1 jammer line,
we have Sylvester taking on Mithra here. Mithra looking for a gap on the inside, managing to find it, but Helsinki reforming around. Mithra stepping back into turn one there, but really trying to push forward now.
That's Ruotsalainen with the pivot cap for Helsinki, and Yamina Lugura there with some last-minute defense, trying to hold back the Dock jammer, but Mithra does manage to get through, and we've had another star pass for Helsinki. So that's Ruotsalainen with the star now. Mithra gets through the pack, picks up the points and calls it before Ruotsalainen has a chance to put anything up. So 4 on the board for Dock City. We now have a 1-point game.
A 1-point game.
We do love to see a 1-point game. So we've got the track today being sponsored by Sovereign Transport Services. This is the STS track. They're a transport company delivering goods throughout the UK and Europe. Warehouse and storage facilities are available at their Liverpool depot. But I don't think that is what is on the mind of Bowden, who is on the jam line for Dock City.
No, and Ninja really trying to change up this game for Helsinki and get lead jammer status here, pushing up those Dock City blockers, forcing them further up. But Dock City blockers doing a great job at rolling back to take up that space that's given up by Ninja. So
Dock City blocker Erten just coming forward there to bridge the gap while the pack was split, making sure that their defenders were being kept in play while trying to hold back. Oh, and we have another jammer penalty going up. Bowden for Dock City in the penalty box at the moment. So Nina with the jammer star unopposed at the moment. And Nina has lead jammer status, so they do have the right to call the jam as and when.
Nina trying to capitalize on that offense there, but just not able to do so.
It's a really good penalty kill from Dock City. Their defenders are holding tight. They're throwing everything into that defense.
I will say this entire weekend I have been so impressed by Dock City's blockers, just managing to put a stop so frequently to these other teams' jammers. Just so strong on the line there.
It was a really nice little bit of offense there from Bilan, helping Bowden to get through. So 4 more on the board for Helsinki. They're managing to hang on to that lead. It's now down to, it's up to 5 points following that last jam. And that looks like Malou with the star for Helsinki. You can tell Malou from It's not Malou. I'm absolutely talking rubbish. Hit me in the face if I say something like that again, will you? As Varpu Knutela, I was just about to say how recognizable they were, and I had recognized entirely the wrong place.
It's okay. We all make mistakes. That's why pencils have erasers. But Fred Finta not making any mistakes there, managing to get out with lead jammer status. And it looks like they will have a power jam as Varpu Knutela is going to the penalty box for a forearms penalty.
So Fred Finta taking the inside line there, picking up all the points on another scoring pass. And it looks like this might be the jam where Dog City take the lead from Helsinki. Helsinki getting to the front of the pack, trying to speed up the pace of the pack.
And a huge hit there from Ruto Salonen to take out Finta's momentum. But Finta back up and trying to push through this Helsinki wall again.
Knutela has been released from the penalty box and is now engaging with the pack, and that's an initial pass completed for Knutela. So Finta keeping an eye on where the Helsinki jammer is going, calls the jam just as Knutela comes around to score. So they've managed to keep a clean sheet on that last jam. 4 more points going up for Dock City. No, 3 more points on the second pass. So yes, we have had a lead change. Dock City now taking the slight lead of 2 points ahead of Helsinki. So if you're just joining us this morning, welcome to EuroCup here in Urmston, Manchester, UK. You're watching Helsinki Roller Derby playing in the green up against Dock City in the white. I'm Billy No Skates.
And I am Ankle Biter, and we are watching Malou take on Mithra right now. Malou skating for Helsinki, pushing forward on that Dock City wall, trying to capitalize on some offense there. Looking for some space on these outside lines and finding it right there, managing to pick up lead jammer status.
Some really nice offensive blocking there from Ertan, making that space for Malou to come through. And that's Payne Gretzky skating forward to the front of that pack there too, playing a little bit more mobile.
And it looks like
the whole of the track.
Balen still trying to get through for that initial pass. The star has been passed, it looks like.
Okay, didn't see that star pass there. 4 points going up on the board for Helsinki.
And it looks like it will be a power jam for Malou.
So a back block penalty being issued there to Berlin as they take a seat in the penalty box. Malou gets through with another 4 points. So 2 scoring passes under the belt for Malou, coming around for a third. And Helsinki going, I was going to say they're going for a passive offense, but they're absolutely not. They're throwing all their defenders into that wall to bust up the Dock City wall and make the space for Malou to get through. So another 4 on the board. Bayalin is out of the penalty box now and rejoining on track.
Malou still trying to fight through these Dock City blockers, receiving some offense there from Quirica, but just not able to capitalize on it. Bayalin also looking for some space here. Both jammers really trying to fight through.
Malou has control of the clock on this jam. There's only 10 seconds left. That's another complete pass from Malou. And 3, 2, 1, there go the whistles. That's another couple of points going up on that last pass as well. So 2 more points. So a massive jam. 18 points for Malou.
Huge jam. And another lead change, which I feel is going to be the theme of today's games.
I think it probably is, yeah. That was a massive, massive jam for Helsinki. They've gotten more points in that last jam than Dock City have on the board at the moment. So it's actually a very low-scoring game.
Yes, it is.
It's testament to the defense that's being played by both teams at the moment. As Bowden with the start for Dock, who is out and has lead. Sylvester.
Oh, I apologize. Sylvester getting knocked out on the outside, having to recycle back, but a quick star pass to Ruto Salonen. But it looks like a track cut penalty has been assessed to Bowden. So it will be a power jam and a 2-minute jam.
A 2-minute jam to Ruotsalainen. I always feel like the pivot taking the star nearly always ends up with a power jam, and they end up having to get through that pack so many times. They're like, I came here to block. I came here to block. I didn't want to have to run at these walls. But Ruotsalainen is a very experienced skater and an absolute triple threat when it comes to whatever position they're in. Yamina Lugara coming forward there to play some offense. Sylvester also trying to make a space on the outside line. Ruotsalainen being absolutely eaten up there by Malice Babs, doing a fabulous work.
And Bowden released from the penalty box, trying to break through this Helsinki wall, finding some space on the outside there, but just getting held up in the trudge, but managing to make it through for 4 points on that inside line.
A really good penalty kill there from Dock City. Still have 30 seconds left on this jam, and it will go the full 2 minutes.
Bowden looking for some space, trying to take a whip there, but the Helsinki blockers just doing a great job at reforming around, really taking up that space. Bowden getting knocked off on the outside line, having to recycle back.
Ruotsalainen has kind of dropped back into playing fifth blocker at this point. They're not even trying to get through the pack. He's trying to hold back Dock City before they can score any more points.
But a quick shift into jammer mode now. Looking for one more pass, but not managing to get through to get that. So.
Ruotsalainen picking up the 4 points, though, on that pass. So by the time they drop back into defender mode, they racked the points up already.
Exactly.
And there was no point exhausting their energy trying to get through. So we've got Ninja with the start for Helsinki up against Fred Finta for Dock. And they are lining up on the S1 jam line.
So Ninja trying to find some space there, getting a little bit of offensive help from Komia. 2 left to beat up front for Ninja.
Pack getting spread further and further out. Both teams having to commit a blocker to the bridge, meaning only 3 in defense for each team. Nobody's getting anywhere at the moment.
Both jammers trying to juke around and find some space on the lines, but both teams having some really strong tripods that are making that space unavailable.
High five the last line of defense for Dock City. Penalties being called there. I'm not sure who picked it up.
And Ninja picking up lead jammer status.
Dock City blockers running back to try and bust their jammer out. Ninja coming forward for a first scoring pass. I can't see Finta. Oh, there's Finta.
Finta still trying to fight through. Such a tough wall here. Ninja looking for a little bit of help from Quirica. Not able to capitalize on it though, and Quirica has to break off to bridge.
High five and Bilan, they're doing fantastic work holding up the front. Paddy from the block also in that tripod, the wall of death that was holding back Ninja.
Oh, and Finta making it out for an initial pass.
Well, it's a little bit easier when there's only one blocker on track.
It does make that a lot easier.
So one of the blockers being forced to return to the track. They're going to have to stay on track to serve their time in the penalty box on the next jam. So we've had a timeout being called. Well, this is an interesting game.
It is. I think we said it would be close, and I think they're proving our predictions correct.
Yes, I think that is it's definitely coming true. We've got a few penalties coming up. At the moment, the lead has been relatively even. Helsinki have had 5 out of the 9 jams they've had lead, and Dock have had 4. Helsinki, obviously, with more points to show for it, they've got a 13-point lead. And the penalties look fairly even as well. So we're still in kind of relatively, we've just had the first quarter of the game go, basically. So we don't have a huge amount of stats to come back and dazzle you with at this point. But yeah, while Dock City are getting their share of the lead, they're not getting so much their share of the points. I think they need a couple of big jams to rack up a few if they're going to get back ahead of Helsinki.
Yes, but if we've learned anything this weekend, it is not to count out anybody, especially that last game. Just the comebacks this weekend have been spectacular.
Helsinki have been leading since they got that massive 17-point power jam. So get one of those under your belt, and suddenly the tenor of the game has changed. And of course, 2 blockers in the box for Helsinki at the moment makes it a little bit easier for Moran to get through and pick up lead jammer status.
Yes, Moran trying to get the momentum back for Dock City, making an easy pass there, picking up 4 points.
So blockers back on, oh, I was just going to say blockers back on track, but yeah, another one goes to the box for Helsinki. So Moran has completed that first scoring pass, second scoring pass, I do apologize, coming around for a third. So where is Varpu?
Varpu is fighting up against one blocker, that last Dock City blocker managing to get out now. Moran looking to juke around this 2-wall, getting some offensive help to get around, but goes ahead and calls off the jam.
Okay, so no points for Varpu Knutala. Moran managed to call that jam before any damage was done. 11 points up on the board for Dock City. It's now a 2-point game, so yeah. I do love it when what we say on the microphone is immediately justified by what happens on track. I think we should do that more.
Yes, we should.
Yeah, more telepathy, more
yes.
Like, what do you call it?
Reading the future.
Predict the future.
Yeah.
Okay. That's Mithra with the start for Dock City up against Malu for Helsinki.
Mithra looking for some space on the lines. Malu, though, managing to pick up that lead jammer status, but Mithra making it out. And Malu saying, you know what, we'll just keep it a 0-0 jam, and calls it off.
Yes. Sometimes I wonder, sometimes I'd like to be a spider. I think I need about 8 pairs of eyes to watch a game of roller derby properly.
Oh, yes.
So both teams lining up on the jam line. A full complement of blockers on track at the moment. We've got Nina with the start for Helsinki up against Bowden for Dock City.
So Bowden finding the space on the inside and managing to get out with lead jammer status after some beautiful toe-stop work there. Nina still looking for that pivot, potentially a star pass. Now playing a little bit of fifth blocker, just trying to keep that point differential low here.
Querica swinging around back into defensive position. That wall from Helsinki is really dynamic. They've done some fantastic work, just kind of covering the entire track.
Great hit out there from Pale to recycle Bowden back into turn one there. So Bowden having to fight through this Helsinki wall yet again.
So Palele has taken the star for Helsinki and is coming around for a first scoring pass. So Bowden is letting this one go. The signal from the bench is to leave Pale on track in a scoring position.
And Bowden with a huge apex jump there, managing to stay in and pick up 4 points.
So another 4 up on the board there for Pale as well. So an even Steven jam, if you like. Still a 2-point game coming into the next one. And we've got Knutala with the start for Helsinki up against Fred Finta for Dock. We're into the last 10 minutes of the first half. Quite a low-scoring game.
Quite a low-scoring game. You are correct on that. But both of these jammers now looking to change that fact as Knutala rushing forward, but Finta managing to find some space, but not without picking up a track cut penalty. So this will be a power jam for Helsinki.
So Knutala dealing with that Dock City wall. Helsinki's blocker is coming back to try and make some space for Finta. For Knutala to get through.
Dock City blockers doing a great job at just ignoring that offense from Helsinki, but Knutila managing to push them out with only one left to beat and gets through for lead jammer status.
High Five and Bilan have been like a pair to watch in action for Dock. Their defensive skills are incredible. They're all over the track. Makes it very difficult for the Helsinki jammers. But 4 more on the board for Knutila. Coming around for another scoring pass. Finta had completed an initial pass before. Am I right?
I believe was assessed the penalty before completing the initial pass.
So not currently in a scoring position.
No. Getting some offensive help here, trying to capitalize on it, but Dock City doing a great job at reforming. Helsinki tripod at the front, just really trying to put a stop to Dock City's momentum there.
That pack from Helsinki, that Ruotsalainen, Jämina Lukara combination at the front of the pack, and they're just, I wouldn't want to be running at them, I'll give you that. Finta is clear and approaching the pack for a first scoring pass, so Knutila calls the jam on that one, so 2 more points on the board for Helsinki. A 7-point jam. So that's managed to stretch Helsinki's lead to a massive 9 points.
But Mithra on the line, who's had a spectacular weekend so far. Mithra taking on Malou. Both jammers running at these walls, just trying to pick up some speed. And Mithra is able to get out first.
Some lovely footwork from Mithra around the outside of that pack, picking up lead jammer status. Wonder if Dock are going to manage to turn the tide again.
Well, it looks like Malou was assessed a penalty.
Yeah.
And will be giving the power jam to Dock City now.
So this is where Dock City can do with racking up a couple more points. Helsinki have Ertan trapped at the back of the pack there, but Ertan getting into position and trying to do some damage, trying to hold Mithra back.
Mithra trying to find some space, but Helsinki doing what they do best and just trying to kill this power jam right here, taking up any space that this jammer gives up.
Pale and Fuchs there just being absolutely impassable. And Malou is through the pack and clear on that initial pass. So Mithra looks to the bench and calls the jam. So three more on that pass. So that was a 7-point jam for Mithra, and that takes it back to a 2-point game. I think I'm going to need a bit of a lie down at halftime.
Yes. This has been very intense and very stressful, not just for the teams and the players, but also for the announcers, the crowds,
the spectators,
the fans.
Okay, so we have an official review. No, team timeout being called by Dock City. I was wondering what was happening because the jammer was nowhere near the jam line. So that gives us a little bit of time to talk to you about what's happening on the Rollerbones bench.
Yes.
So Rollerbones Nitros and Turbos offer a superior grip and a roll that is second to none. Rollerbones are sponsoring our benches this weekend, and very grateful we are too.
Yes.
And it gives us a little bit of time as well to call out the Rydell crew that are staffing this game, and that's Pretty Miffed, MacGyver, Oyu, Lucas, Minerva McGonigal, Scrim Shady, Micmac Tigress, Yak, Barbaboobs. I always have trouble with that one. Sephiref, Mercy Bicoop, Tarot, Liner Douglas, Simone, MK, Danger Muffin, Eunice, and Tiny Tanium on the crew today. And a big thank you to Rydell for sponsoring our cruise this weekend.
Yes, and just receiving some information from our wonderful producer here, Sven. Dock City taking advantage of power jams. Their highest scoring power jam, though, is 7. So they're trying to take advantage of these power jams. But Helsinki blockers just doing a great job at shutting those down.
Yeah, we've seen some fantastic blockers from Helsinki this weekend. They've been really difficult for the opposing jammers to get through. But that is Nina, who's through first and has lead jammer status. Bowden has taken the star off. I'm not sure whether they're trying to pass the star or simply stash it, but they're up against Yemina Lugura there. Oh, Yemina picks up a directional gameplay penalty, goes to sit in the penalty box, so that'll make things a little bit easier for Bowden, and with that, a little skip and a jump, and Bowden is clear of the pack.
But Nina not far behind and also in control of this jam. Looks to the bench for some direction there. Falls off the jam, but Bowden, an amazing jump. Just not in time to pick up those points, though.
Oh, that was beautiful. We do like to see the artistry of these skaters coming through, as well as the athleticism on the track. It is quite entertaining when you do get a nice little apex jump like that. And yeah, I do feel sorry for Bowden not managing to get any points out of that.
Get 10 style points, though. 10 style points for that.
10 style points is right. Okay, that's Sylvester. Is this the first time that Sylvester's had the star for Helsinki today? No?
No, I think we have seen Sylvester before.
Twice before, in fact, Sven tells me.
Yes. And Fred Finta wearing the star for Dock City. Fred Finta trying to fight against this tripod here, receiving some offensive help, but just not able to capitalize on it as these Helsinki blockers so strong.
Yeah, that was Querica and Fuchs at the front of that pack, making life difficult for Finta, but Finta is coming around on a scoring pass right now.
So Sylvester still trying to find space to get by the Dock City blockers, but just getting knocked out on the outside line in turn 1, having to recycle back nearly to that jam line.
Beautiful little knock to the outside there by Querica, taking Finta all the way back, halfway around the STS track.
So Finta trying to get by yet again, also forced out and picking up a track cut penalty. So it will be a power jam for Sylvester and Helsinki.
So will there be a star pass?
So Sylvester still trying to make it through for an initial pass.
Pale has the star, or has the pivot stripe for Helsinki, and has taken a star already on another occasion, but it doesn't look as though Sylvester intends to pass. It looks as though Sylvester's going to hang on and try and deal with that defense from Dock City.
And Dock City doing a great job at denying this offense from Helsinki.
Really good penalty kill. Really, really good penalty kill. Fred Finta is back on track. It's only a few seconds left in this jam. And that was a really, really good penalty kill from Dock City, I'd say. Impressive. So still 6 points separating the two teams at this stage in the game. No, I tell a lie, there go the 4 points. It is a 2-point game again. So like Sven was saying, the penalties they're getting from Dock City, Helsinki are capitalizing. When Dock City are getting the power jam, generally, they're not capitalizing as well. But we did just see a fantastic penalty kill from Dock. So they seem to have gotten a measure of Helsinki's power jams and are really starting to shut them down.
Yes, and Varpu Knutala taking the star for Helsinki, with Moran wearing it for Dock City. And Knutala thought there was some space there, but just not able to get by without getting knocked out on the inside line.
You've got Ruotsalainen at the front of that pack trying to make some space there for Knutala to get through. And one blocker left to beat. Knutala is clear of the pack and has a lead jammer.
And Moran removing the star, trying to get by, just knocked out though. Or no, not knocked out, but there was a star pass there.
That's Bilan, who had the pivot stripe on for Dock. Yeah, so that's called. We've got less than a minute left on the period clock.
And only 6 points in this game.
And we've got Mithra versus Malu on the jam line. We've seen this matchup several times already this game. So who is going to take the lead going into halftime?
Ooh. I think Mithra could turn something around with a couple scoring passes right here. And they're trying to do just that, looking for a way around this Helsinki tripod. But Malu finding a way past first and picking up lead jammer status.
I think we may have had, oh no, we haven't. I was going to say I think we've had a star pass, but I think Mithra was doing a little bit of a fake out. Mithra dropping back to do a little bit of defense at the moment while Malu is engaging that pack on a first scoring pass.
And Malu finding some space on the outside and a wonderful little shirt whip there. Managing to get by, picking up 4 points on that pass.
Mithra is also clear of the pack, so having completed that initial pass. Malu comes around for a second scoring pass, but as Mithra was close behind, chooses to call that jam. So, in answer to the question, it's going to be Helsinki taking the lead going into halftime, and it's going to be a 10-point lead. So, on that note, I think it has been a very close and a very intense first half, and we're going to come back to you in about 12 minutes to talk you through the second half of the game, but we're going to go have a little break right now.
Yes, I believe we do have an interview happening.
We have an interview happening, fantastic.
We do, trackside.
So this is an interview I'm actually really interested in because that first game this morning was incredible.
Oh my goodness, yes, that was a game. If you get the chance, definitely go rewatch it. Keep it on all the time. It was amazing. So it looks like everybody's just getting set up trackside, and we will have this interview for you soon.
Okay, and we're going to hand over to our colleagues down on the track.
Hi, I'm Over the Painbow, and I'm here with Dr. Stevel, bench coach for Crime City, and Dixie, a jammer for London Roller Derby. So, Dr. Stevel, how have you had a good weekend?
Yeah, mostly. It's been fun. Very, very cold, very early, but there's been some great roller derby.
You had a tough game against Helsinki yesterday. What's been your standout moment from this weekend for your team?
Just the sense of togetherness that we have whenever we come to a tournament, especially in Europe, and trying to get together and be as happy and as positive as possible. It's really been good this weekend.
Oh, that's great that you've had a great time. And Dixie had a very tense morning. Do I need to ask you what your standout moment was from today's game?
No, I think it's pretty clear. I mean, yeah, it was an extremely stressful time lining up on the track because it was, up until that moment, I was under the impression it was Delta who was going to be on, and then there was me lining up 6 points to go. Yeah, so it was a great game. Absolutely loved it.
And how are you feeling about playing Rainy this afternoon?
They're going to be tough, but yeah, I mean, the vibes on the bench, like both games this weekend have been great, so I think we can do it. We can smash it.
Great, thank you guys. It's been a great tournament so far. Thank you very much.
Welcome back, Roller Derby fans. We are getting back to the action on this second game of day 2 of EuroCup here in Manchester. I'm Billy No Skates.
And I am Ankle Biter.
And we've had an interesting first half. It's been very much kind of to and fro. Helsinki are holding a narrow lead. They've been in the lead pretty much since the beginning.
Yes, but Dock City has managed to take advantage every now and then and create that lead change. And it seems very reminiscent of when they last played each other in London. I believe it was 4 points between them on that game, with Helsinki managing to take the win off of that one.
Yeah, it's been, we've seen quite a few power jams, but when Dock City are getting the power jams, they're not potentially maximizing on those as much as possible because Helsinki's defense has done a fantastic job of pulling together. I think the second half, it's not been massively penalty heavy. I think if penalties come into play, we could see a bigger swing one way or the other.
Yes, and it does seem like when Dock City is able to capitalize on those point scoring opportunities, it is when Helsinki blockers are going to that penalty box, so they're having a bit of an easier time getting through that pack. But both teams have done a spectacular job at really locking down the penalty kills, the power jam kills there, and keeping them in the single digits for those power jams.
So we've certainly got a few contenders in these two teams for the MVP awards that are going to happen at the end. We've got some fantastic MVP prizes from Create and Skate Factory, which is skater-owned and led.
Yes.
And it looks like we're about to get back underway. We've got Varpu Knutila with the star for Helsinki.
And just can't quite see the Dock City jammer there.
No, the Dock City jammer is being obscured currently by Varpu Knutila. Yeah, it's Bowden. Bowden standing directly in front of Knutila. And Bowden and the Helsinki blockers hit the deck. Bowden, unfortunately, trips getting back up again, and that allows Varpu Knutila to take advantage of the momentary confusion. Varpu is lead jammer. Oh, and Bowden has picked up a penalty.
Yes.
So it's a power jam in favor of Helsinki. So Helsinki with a slight point lead at the moment, coming into the first game of the second half with a power jam.
So Dock City blocker is going to try and do what they were managing to do at the end of the last half and really try and kill this power jam with hopefully only single digits on the board or less.
So Dock City with a full complement of blockers on track now, defending a power jam. Two of Helsinki's blockers are currently sitting in the penalty box. With Varpu Knutila coming up against that Dock defence. We've had Ertan there, who's been an absolute rock solid in that wall for Dock City, and coming forward there to do a little bit of offence for Bowden, who is out of the penalty box and back on track. So very good penalty kill there from Dock City.
Yes, and Varpu Knutila still being held while Bowden has made their initial pass and goes ahead and calls off the jam after picking up 7 points on that jam, it looks like.
So yeah, good penalty kill from Dock City. Still 7 points up on the board from Helsinki. And we've got Malu up against Moran.
So I'm not sure if this is a matchup we have seen in this game before.
I'm sure our wonderful producer, Sven Will I Be Famous, will tell us in a couple of seconds whether they've face off against each other in this game so far.
So Moran and Malu looking at the lines, trying to find some space, and Moran managing to find a little bit on the outside, but just being knocked out, having to recycle back to that jam line, while Malu is pushing these Dock City blockers forward, toe stopping around the outside line, but not before Moran is picking up lead jammer status.
And it was neck and neck coming through that pack, and Moran has the lead, but Malu, a little bit of a hip check there, edges Moran out to get ahead, forcing the call off.
So Fred Finta will now be taking the start for Dock City. Well, Nina takes it for Helsinki. I apologize for stepping on your toes there.
No, you did absolutely nothing wrong. I'm just trying to take in information from 17 different directions at once, and I was about to say something completely inconsequential. So you're doing fabulous. Carry on.
Well, thank you for your support and all the support we are giving these teams and volunteers out here. We thank you all for your hard work.
Nina with one player to beat at the front of that pack, but that player was High Five, who's been rock solid in defense all day today. But Nina does manage to get around and picks up lead jammer status. Fred
Finta looking to try and find some space on the outside, but just not able to get by Helsinki there, while Nina makes it through for a scoring pass. Fred Finta managing to pass that star off to the pivot, Bielen.
So Bielen just putting the star on, about to approach the pack for a scoring pass. But Nina calls the jam before any points are put up. So another good jam from Helsinki, putting up a little bit of a distance now between themselves and Dock City. That's a 25-point lead we've seen, and that's the biggest lead we've had all game.
Yes. That has been the name of the game this weekend, just clawing away little by little to get that lead. So even those single-digit kind of jams, really just looking for the little baby steps to get the win.
Mithra running up the outside line, picks up lead jammer status for Dock City, and we've had already a star pass as Ruotsalainen taking the star for Helsinki.
That was a fast star pass and really wonderful. I think the Dock City blockers may have barely seen it as well. Just very sneaky and a great way to keep that point differential down.
It was very slick. Okay, so we're going to start the next jam. High Five is standing in the penalty box, so about to get back on track for Dock. We have 2 blockers in the box for Helsinki, one of them being Yemina Lugura, who has been an absolute linchpin in that defense. So is this going to give Bowden an opportunity to get lead and get points?
Well, Bowden really going against that 2-wall now, getting some offensive help and managing to get out for lead jammer status while Malou is still trying to find space beyond these Dock City blockers. Picking up a high block penalty, though, it looks like, and going to the penalty box. So this is a power jam now for Bowden.
So this is, I think, what Dock City have needed more than anything else in this game, is not so much to get the power jams, to get the Helsinki blockers in the box.
Yes, and some quick toe stop work there from Bowden to make it through easily for a 4-point scoring pass.
So the penalty box is emptied out for the Helsinki blockers, and Bowden just, oh no, it wasn't clean, it wasn't free on the inside. So we've got a jammer switcheroo in the penalty box. We still have 1 minute and 11 seconds left on the clock, and that means that this is going to go the full 2 minutes.
Yes.
So Malou getting back on track.
After a quick game of musical jammers here, looking for some offense there. Helsinki taking that step back and letting Malou try and push these Dock City blockers out of play.
Helsinki blockers now coming forward to play a bit of offense, try and get Malou through. High Five and Bilan at the front of that pack being a real thorn in Malou's side, but Malou does manage to pick up the points on that.
And Bowden released from the penalty box now, having to face up against a full form of blockers, but picking up another track cut penalty. So this will be yet another power jam opportunity for Malou.
So with 4 blockers on track for Dock City, that is going to be no easy pass for Malou. It took Malou quite a while to get through on that initial pass, being released from the penalty box. So 6 more seconds for Malou to get through. I don't think another pass is going to be possible before the whistles go, but Helsinki will be starting in a power position.
Yes.
So who do Helsinki put up on the line when they have a power jam?
Well, that would be, for this one, Nina. So Nina taking the S1 jam line.
So Dock's blockers standing initially a little bit ahead, but they do come back to meet that Helsinki line and force a scrum start.
And Nina going down in the kerfuffle there, but managing to get right back up. Dock City blockers doing a great job at working to kill this. And Bowden has been released from the penalty box with a huge apex jump, but getting a back block penalty and back in the penalty box. Another power jam for Helsinki.
So if anybody's counting, that's 5 penalties for Bowden at the moment. That's the only person on track at the moment who has any kind of penalty trouble happening. 3 of those penalties being picked up in the last 2 jams.
And it looks like Nina did take off the star, so this will be a 2-minute jam.
So everyone working double time on track at the moment. Helsinki a little bit thin on blockers with 2 in the box currently. But of course, Dock City currently without their jammer. Dock's blockers doing a good job of holding back Nina as Bowden comes back onto track. So maybe no more fancy footwork, Bowden, maybe just keep it clean and legal.
Yes. So Bowden just trying to find some space around with 2 left to beat at the front, and a great hit out there by Predator, having to recycle back just a bit, taking away that momentum though that Bowden had. 1 left to beat and managing to get through with a quick little spin move.
That was some really nice work there from Pomja, but they did have to let the jammer through eventually. Bowden at the back of the pack coming through on a scoring pass. Nina still pressing against the first. Bowden's just picked up another penalty. No, Bowden is on 6 penalties. So I was incorrect earlier when I said it was 5. I looked at the penalty board at the time, but the last penalty hadn't actually been registered. So Bowden's on 6. That's really going to affect how Dock City play the second half of this half. Second half of this half being the 4th quarter, if you will. So Helsinki pulling ahead now, getting a little bit of a more comfortable lead in place. Dock City on 67, Helsinki on 93. So that is 27 points.
That was
26 points.
That was really good math.
It was quite slow.
It's a lot faster than I could have done it.
Okay, thank you.
But 2 quick jammers now. Varpu Nutala making quick work of this pack and picking up lead jammer status. Moran passing off that star.
So that was quite a slick star pass there from Dock City, and it now is Bilan with the start coming back to the back of that pack. Knutala calls the jam before any points are going up. Oh, 2 points, 3 points. 3 points going up for Helsinki. Helsinki now within touching distance of a century.
So Mithra now facing off against Malou for our next jam. 2 really strong jammers this entire tournament for both of these teams. So Mithra trying to find a way around that Helsinki tripod and just getting a no pass, no penalty on the outside. So will not have lead jammer status. So Malou can still grab that lead jammer status getting through here.
All Malou needs to do is to get clear of that Dock City pack and pick up lead to call. But Mithra on a first scoring pass. Malou being dragged back all the way between the jammer and the pivot lines. Forced to reset. Mithra patiently pushing against that wall. Mithra has not been penalty heavy. I've probably just cursed it now and they're going to get fouled out or something. But they've been very patient in their play. They've not been penalty heavy.
Malou also wonderfully patient there, waiting for some offense to open up that line to get through and get lead jammer status and making it by to pick up 4 points now.
So Mithra still on an initial scoring pass. So in a scoring position and has picked up 4 points. And Malou calls that jam. So just waiting to see what points go up for Helsinki on the second pass. And there's 1 point. So a 5-4 jam in favour of Helsinki. And a clean 30 points now separating the 2 teams with 17.5 minutes left on the clock.
Yes, Finta now wearing the star for Dock City, while Nina takes it for Helsinki.
Finta going through the middle of that pack. And Nina with 1 blocker to beat. Dock City having to drop their blockers back into bridging position.
And Finta looking for a little bit of offense help there. Just not able to capitalize on it, though, and still stuck behind that Helsinki wall.
So what do Dock City do here? Do they try and commit more players to offense to try and get their jammer out? Or do they do everything they can to hold back Nina?
So Finta taking off that star now, looking for the pivot, but pivot getting stuck in the wall of Helsinki blockers, trying to provide some offense now. While Nina looks for space to get around.
Are you looking for space to get around Bilan and High Five? You're going to be looking a long time, I think. That is one tight pairing at the front of the pack.
Yes, and these blockers not making any point easy for any of these jammers. And a quick star pass.
Yes, Bilan with the star now for Dock City. Nina does have lead, and as Bilan comes around for a scoring pass, calls that jam. So a few more points going up on the board there for Helsinki. That's 4 more points. They pick up all 4. And just waiting for everybody to line back up again and get ready to go again. So Helsinki pulling ahead, getting a little bit of a cushion, probably going to be affected by Bowden's penalties for a dock.
Definitely Morin trying to find a way out of here, while Sylvester picks up a track cut penalty. So this is a power jam opportunity for Dock City, but they have not been able to capitalize as much as they would like to on these opportunities. One left to beat up front, and a great hit out. Morin being forced to recycle back into turn 1 now.
Yeah. So Bowden was 30%, was playing 30% of the jams in period 1. So Dock City are really going to be feeling that loss coming in. But yeah, that was some fantastic work there from Helsinki, managing to get Morin out, because Morin was free and clear, and they've done it again. That's Ruotsalainen again with that knock to the inside, forcing Morin back. And that's an excellent penalty kill from Helsinki. Sylvester is back on track.
Yes, and Ruotsalainen has been so key to being that last person at the front to knock out those jammers and really force the recycle and hold back that lead jammer status, or even the point scoring opportunity from those jammers. So both jammers back on track, trying to fight through these walls, but none of the blockers giving any space whatsoever.
So Sylvester went to the penalty box. Morin hasn't completed an initial pass yet.
No, has not. It was very close, but just could not get past that last blocker.
Ruotsalainen going to take a seat in the penalty box now. That's going to hamper Helsinki's efforts coming into the next jam. There's only 10 seconds left. I don't think anybody's going to score any points on this jam. But there goes Sylvester, finally clear on that initial pass. And the jam times out.
A 0-0 jam with no lead jammer.
Yeah, that was intense.
Yes.
I'm kind of glad I wasn't on track for that.
If that isn't a testament to the skill of these blockers on both of these teams, I don't know what is.
We've got Mitra up against Knutela for the next jam. Knutela with no pivot to hand off to if things don't go according to plan.
So Mitra trying to tiptoe around the outside, quickly swapping to the inside, but Knutela finding the space first. But Mitra with an amazing toe stop spin on that inside apex, getting through. So both jammers through on their initial pass, looking for points here. And it looks like Knutela spinning around, going on the outside, looking to call off the jam.
So 4 for Helsinki, but 2 for Dock City on that. That's the first jam in a while that Dock City have put some points up on the board. They had 0 points for the last 2 jams. So glad to get to start to make a little bit of an impact. So Malice Babs coming into the jammer rotation for the first time. Malice has jammed at other points throughout the weekend, but hasn't done a lot of jams. This will be filling the spot that's been left by Bowden, sitting on those 6 penalties.
Yes, and Malou wearing that star for Helsinki, trying to find a way around, but Malice Babs managing to get by that last Helsinki blocker, picking up lead jammer status, but Malou passing off the star now.
As Yemina Lukura with the star for Helsinki coming around as Malice Babs takes a knock to the inside, waits for Yemina to catch up with the pack, but calls the jam. 2 blockers in the box now for Dock City, starting the next jam. That's going to be a slightly uncomfortable position for them to be in. So we've got Finta up on the star with the star for Dock City up against Nina for Helsinki. And we've got a timeout of some description. Team timeout? Official timeout.
It looks like an official timeout. And speaking of our officials, they are sponsored by Rydell, advancing the sport of skating for 70 years. No matter your rink choice, Rydell has figure skates and roller skates that you will love. Check them out at rydellskates.com.
I don't have any skates.
You don't have any skates.
No.
That's why you're Billy No Skates.
I'm Billy No Skates.
If I got you skates, would you be Billy Yes Skates?
Billy with skates,
Billy with skates? That's a good one too.
possibly.
Yes. So Nina has skates on and is skating out the front, trying to get past these two Dock City blockers, but yet again, even this two wall making it difficult.
So Dock with a little bit of penalty trouble heading in now. Comia was playing offense but had to drop back to bridge. Unfortunately, didn't get back in time. They were out of play, the last defender.
And Dock City getting a little bit of blocker help again. So two blockers being released from the penalty box, but they are still have one there. Helsinki down to two blockers on the track as well. So Finta managing to toe stop by on that inside line.
So Nina looking at the bench and looking at the jammer coming past, holds the jam at the last possible second to hold Dock City to 0 points on that pass. So an 8.4 point jam, 4 point net gain to Helsinki. And Helsinki are now putting a little bit of daylight between themselves and Dock. So this is kind of the first point in the game where it really feels like Dock City are going to struggle to get back.
Yes. It has been a difficult time for them, but they're inching through it point by point. Both of these teams are just really trying to take the lead as best they can. And Moran with lead jammer status now, looking to capitalize on the points, but a quick star pass there to Ruto Salonen.
Okay, so jam being called there at the last possible second. Just waiting to see, did any points go up on the board for Ruotsalainen? None. Okay, so 2 for Dock. 36 points between the two teams. If Dock could get in a high-scoring jam or two, they could make a dent in that.
Yes.
But we haven't seen those big runaway jams from Dock City today.
We haven't. Helsinki has done such a great job at shutting down any power jam opportunity they've had as well. So it hasn't really afforded them those opportunities to get high-scoring jams either.
Malou is clear of the pack and picks up lead jammer status. Mithra still stuck at the back of that Helsinki wall. Mithra likes the outside line, but I think Helsinki have learned that and are shutting that line down.
And Malou taking a hit to the inside, having to recycle back to that jam line.
Bielan has been an absolute thorn in the side of the Helsinki Jammers today. Some fabulous defensive work, and in fact, Bielan has now taken the star from Mithra.
So Bielan now taking the jammer hat, and it'll be a power jam for them as Malou has received a penalty and will be going to the penalty box.
Yeah, and Bielan with the star now in a 2-minute jam. I didn't sign up for this. I came out to block. You're making me jam for 2 minutes. Stopless coming forward to play a little bit of offense there, and Bielan as well.
So Bielan looking for some space on the outside, but yet again, Helsinki blockers doing what they do best in shutting down this power jam.
That's the thing, isn't it? When Helsinki have got a full complement of blockers on track, it's very difficult for Dock to make much headway.
Yes, they're doing such a great job at reforming, hitting off, recycling back. Anything they can do to kill that power jam, and they've done just that as Malou has been released from the penalty box and working their way through these Dock City blockers. One left to beat up front and does just that to pick up 4 points.
So an excellent penalty kill there from Helsinki. With Dock City having the power jam, they've managed to not make any headway through the pack. Bielan still has the star in hand, so an initial pass hadn't been completed at that point. So we ran out of time on that. 8 points to Helsinki and 0 points to Dock. Fabulous defensive work from Helsinki on that one. Absolutely credit to Dock. They were doing everything they could, but Helsinki, when they're on form, when all the blockers are on track, they're impenetrable.
They are impenetrable. And yet again, both of these teams' blockers really just making it impossible. for the jammers to get through.
So I think we've got an official review happening at the moment. It's an official review being called by Doc. So we're going to wait for our announcer friends down below to come and tell us exactly what's happening. But for now, we'd like to tell you a little bit about our track, our bar sponsor.
Yes, our bar sponsor, Track Brewery, craft beer brewery based in Manchester. They have released a new beer called Get Low. They did it in collaboration with Rainy City. So if you would like to check it out, go to trackbrewing.co.uk.
I don't drink alcohol, but I have tasted Get Low, and it is delicious.
Is
I can
it
confirm.
delicious?
Yes, it's an IPA. It's fruity, and it's citrusy, and it's quite delicious. So I believe that they're going to have some more cans available today. They ran out of beer yesterday, but we have been informed that they won't be running out again today. Okay, so Dog City were calling for an out-of-play block on the Helsinki Jammer. That's what the official review is officially reviewing.
So while we wait for our official review, we can talk about our league sponsor, 187. 187 killer pads worn by the most pros in the world. So if you skate, you know why. Check out 187 pads.
We don't look. I don't skate. Look, we've just had this conversation like literally seconds ago.
You can still wear the 187 pads.
That's true. I could do it.
Yes.
Wear them doing DIY, I suppose.
Yes,
like
exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to be after the end of the final today. We're going to be doing our prize giving ceremony, our award ceremony.
Oh, yes. Our awards, too, are made by Zero Waste Metals. But that is metals with a D, not metals with a T. It's the world's only zero waste metal producer because they are wooden metals. So if you would like to look at them, go to wooden-metals.co.uk.
So our winners will be getting zero waste medals. Our MVPs will be getting materials from Create and Skate Factory. And it looks like that out of play block was awarded. So Helsinki Jammer starting in the penalty box. It's Malu who picked up an out of play block on that last jam.
So Dock City retaining their official review and getting a power start.
So they're getting a power start. There's 4 Helsinki blockers on track. I can only see 3.
So it looks like
there
a
are 4.
Helsinki blocker was hidden behind a Dock City blocker there.
That's what happened.
So Finta trying to find some space on the inside line, but just getting knocked out there by Predator, having to come back in turn 1, but managing to toe stop around the outside and pick up lead jammer status.
Some really good footwork there from Fred Finta. Coming around for a first scoring pass. Malu standing in the penalty box. Ruotsalainen has the stripe for Helsinki, so if Malu needs to hand off the star, there is an opportunity to do so. It's going to be Ruotsalainen who takes it. And there is a star pass. That was beautiful. Dock City blockers focused on the outside of the track, didn't see the star handoff, and Ruotsalainen making a beeline for the inside line of that track, gets around and forces a call-off.
I must say, Ruotsalainen has been spectacular as a pivot. Always where they need to be, just looking out for the jammer, providing the offense when they need to provide it, and taking the star when they need to. And it's just done a spectacular job this game.
Helsinki's packs have been phenomenal this weekend. We've got Nina with the star up against Moran for Dock City. In case you're just joining us, this is the second game of the second day of EuroCup here in Manchester. We've got Helsinki playing in green and Dock City playing in white, and Helsinki have the lead.
Yes, and that is Nina taking lead for Helsinki, with Moran coming around not too far behind. However, and Moran, a quick apex jump there to try and pick up some points.
And Moran did pick up some points. So there's 2 points being signalled there by the jam ref. 1 point being signalled from Helsinki. So a nice little steal there from Dock City. Helsinki now are rolling ahead with 45 points separating them from Dock City at the moment, so it does look like they're in a strong position to win the game. We've got Mitra on the jam line for Dock City up against Sylvester for Helsinki.
So Mitra trying to quickly get around and managing to do just that on the outside line, while Sylvester's trying to find space. And yet again, another wonderful star pass from Helsinki here. But Dock City doing a great job at reforming there at the front.
Is Ruotsalainen just like on the track all the time?
I feel like that is Ruotsalainen's home. It's just on the track. They just live there.
So lovely footwork there from Mitra going to the inside of the line, picking up the points. I'm looking to the bench to see, do I call, do I go? And the instruction is, you go. Go, go, go.
And Ruotsalainen taking a huge hit on the inside there, but in no pass, no penalty, is able to get up and pick up some points on that pass.
So 4 points to Mitra, 4 points to Ruotsalainen. But Mitra did manage to pick up 2 points on the second scoring pass before calling that jam. So 6-point jam for Dock City.
So Dock City now just looking to hit that century mark, while Helsinki just looking to continue to maintain that lead.
And that's Varpu Knutela with the star for Helsinki up against Fred Finta for Dock.
And Varpu Knutela going right into the thick of it there, trying to fight through these Dock City blockers. While Mitra is looking for some help at the back. Helsinki putting on a spectacularly strong tripod here. Fred Finta still trying to find some space. And both jammers really having to work for this initial pass.
Varpu Knutela with the lead for Helsinki.
And that looks like Fuchs, I believe, who has gone to the penalty box for Helsinki. So Helsinki will be down a blocker, but so will Dock City.
Looked like Malice Babs was attempting to get the star from Finta. I don't know whether it was just an elaborate fake out or whether it was a genuine attempt at a star pass, but whether or which, Finta forced to reset all the way back, and another scoring pass for Varpu Knutela.
So Finta now looking to play a little bit of fourth blocker with a blocker in the penalty box. Just trying to stop the scoring from Varpu Knutela now.
Varpu taking the time there to assess the situation before engaging. With a decent lead in place from Helsinki, there's no point in trying to push through and maybe pick up penalties by engaging harshly with a strong defense.
And Dock City able to get the star out, passing it to Malice Baps, but Helsinki going ahead and calling off that jam.
So a 54-point lead now in favor of Helsinki, and the next jam is surely going to be the last jam. There's only 1 minute and 7 seconds left on the penalty clock. What am I saying? On the period clock. And a team timeout being called by Dock City.
So Dock City potentially using these timeouts strategically to get a couple more jams out of this, depending on how the next couple plays go. Just looking to try and make that point differential a little bit lower.
It's been some fabulous work from Dock City this weekend. I've been really impressed with how they've played and how they've shown up on track as well. Some very strong players.
Yes, and Dock City has made every single opponent work for every single point they've gotten, but so has Helsinki.
So Dock City as well have been without Bowden for 20 minutes, so 14 jams without their lead jammer, one of their highest scoring jammers. So that was unfortunate. 3 penalties in quick succession for Bowden, effectively taking them out of the game. And we're ready to get back on track. So we've got one more jam. We've got Moran with the star for Dock City up against Ninja for Helsinki.
So Nina quick off of that S1 jam line, picking up lead jammer status. Moran now just trying to find some space.
That was some really nice work there from Predator, making space for Nina to get through on that first pass.
So that Helsinki tripod back in action, but Moran able to get around for an initial pass. Nina still trying to find a few more points here.
So calling that jam. We're going to need, we've less than 30 seconds left on the period clock, so we're going to need somebody to call an official review or a timeout in order to get another jam in. And I kind of thought that was Helsinki's idea when they called that jam, that they were going to call an official review or a timeout. The clock is ticking down. It doesn't look like Doc are rushing to put anybody out on track.
No, but Helsinki's ready for that next jam, should it potentially come.
It's not going to come, and there is the final whistle. So, just waiting for the scores to be finalized, but there can be no doubt that today's winners are Helsinki Roller Derby. That was a good game. Unfortunate for Dock City, I think, that they lost one of their star jammers.
Yes, a bit of a loss for them, really trying to have to work around that, but they did a really great job at working around that and finding a way to adapt as best as they could.
And that's not to take away either from Helsinki's fantastic work blocking as well. And the scores have now been finalized for that game. But like I was saying, Helsinki's blockers have done a stellar job as well. It's not that Dock City lost the game. Helsinki won the game, and they won it well.
Yes.
It was very impressive. But I've really enjoyed seeing both teams out on track. They've both got a lot to give, and I'm just so glad that roller derby is back and in the full swing of things after lockdowns had shut it down for quite so long. Seeing these teams coming through from all across Europe, getting back to a level like this has just been an absolute joy.
Yes, and it's been absolutely spectacular, especially with the amount of turnover that some teams have had. Just able to get back to this and to a spectacular EuroCup hosted here by wonderful Rainy City Roller Derby.
Rainy City obviously going to the final after their game yesterday evening, and they're going to be facing London, so that's going to be an entertaining game. That's going to be first whistle at 5 o'clock. And I think that's probably enough out of us, Ankle Biter. I've been Billy No Skates, and I've talked in your ears enough, I think. So next up, we've got next, Sven?
We've got, I believe it's Toulouse and Crime, if I am not mistaken.
That is going to be an entertaining game. So thank you very much for your attention. Thank you to our lovely producer, Sven Will I Be Famous. And thank you very much. Good night.